What's up, everybody? So, as usual, I am searching for some music because I don't like background noise because of my numbers up here because it, it's distracting for me to even know someone's watching my live. And but that everybody else is cool. You're like, oh, I got you know, I be they got 100, 200, sometimes thousands of people watching them at the same time. I get one, and I'm like, ah, somebody's looking at me. Okay. So I kind of just I've been thinking about the trial, and my mind and my life is such that I got a million things to do, but for some reason I cannot really. Um, it's like it's something about me wants to knock this dude down. Not just him, but this whole thing. It's almost like something is telling me that we cannot begin to deal with. Oh, let me check my sound here. I'm sorry, y'all. I know when I come on here this way, I think the sound gets messed up or something. Cause I see how like when I'm coming on my phone, I get more people. So I apologize. I am having some issues with trying to get this to work properly, like and get a mic and all that. It may never happen because I can't do one good enough for y'all to get interested. But I do believe that what I am saying is of value because no one's even talking about this. Because obviously, either there's a lot of people that don't know they are traumatized, or or trauma people just don't take the stand, which is why you have to think about Gina Hunn, right? Like, first of all, I made like when the case started, and it's not just him, it's not personal. It is personal, but it's not personal towards Sean. It's personal towards a system that he decided to involve himself in knowingly and willingly because he wanted the clout. He wanted to be the man. But when he became the man by deciding to align himself and or being forced by these people, because now we're getting the reports where it goes back to St. Michael's and these various Catholic schools that his quote unquote mom chose to send him to. But hold on, is that his mom? And furthermore, he's a victim of Sean himself is a victim of a broken home. But was it broken by design? Isn't all like this attack against our community is not one that's accidentally happening. It is orchestrated by the same people who he decided to align himself with. And if he really wanted to be the villainous, well, if he wanted to be the superhero in this story, he would have been smart and he would have flipped this game right back on. Because I would be like, first of all, I wouldn't have just did all this crime. I would have been motivated by the fact that okay, my father was a gangster, and you, the people who are asking me as if I were Sean to do this, are asking me to come and help you do crime, but you had involvements in my father's unaliving. If I were an evil villain, I would say, yes, I'm going to work for you. And I would grab your balls in the end, like the beginning of Stir Crazy, with fucking vice grips, and I would squeeze and squeeze and squeeze until you gave me that fucking $10 that you owe me for riding in my fucking taxi cab. I would be able to take all this shit down. So he a stupid criminal to me. He a stupid criminal. Cause if this man don't understand that his dad wasn't killed by accident, I don't understand. There's no motherfucking way, guys. Guys, there's no motherfucking way. There's really no way that I would have been doing all this shit to people, not paying them, not letting them eat. No, we come from not eating. We come from struggle. And he gonna sit up there and get him a few recording artists and then make them struggle. While he sit up and eat steaks and get Beyonce some fucking cheesecake, bro? That better be a fucking lie. That bitch, I better not ever see her with no motherfucking cheesecake. Motherfucking god. So, so, um, I guess what I'm saying is he could have, he should have planned better. Why did he have so much faith in the very government? Because that's who was behind this. You know that, right? Office of War Information, William Paley, Clive Davis. But here's the thing with Clive Davis, and I'm saying allegedly, I don't have any proof. I'm just following the stories, right? With Clive Davis, see, they wanted him out the music part because he was taking like extra money. And that's what Diddy's doing. But problem is, Diddy, so I've heard people say that they want him kind of pushed to the side, right? Almost like they pushed Clyde back in the day because of his involvement with stuff. Essentially, the I guess it was CBS at the time. They didn't want him to bring the whole thing down, so they let him be brought down. His cases were basically pleaded out and pleaded down, and then he restarted what he was doing already under a new name. Why don't y'all just fucking stop? This is why I have the video with the war games. And this, I did the video for war games before I found out that this had something to do with the Office of War Information and William Paley. It just seemed like I, as a person, was feeling like hip hop was one of my ways out. The thing that angers me about this is the fact that it's the fact that hip hop was supposed to be an official way for a person to get out if they had a talent, get out the hood, get out of poverty, and get out of oppressed and underserved communities. And when you take and put somebody at the gate like that to gatekeep, then you stop an entire way. Like, you got talents in this world, right? So you got all these things that you can do. And some people are good at working with their hands, but there are, like, our gift as a people seems to have been music. And so you put somebody at the gate of that, you're stopping a lot of people. And then you're also fucking with, to me, you're fucking with, like, what people need to hear. So let's say I had an announcement and you all expected to hear this announcement at 3 o'clock. And I was the only one with this information and you didn't hear it. That's how I feel about the different musicians' lives he has impacted to the point where it's interfered with their development. I feel like there was a Jodeci song that I never got to hear, and there was a Mary J. Blige song that I never got to hear. And my heart and my conscience needs to hear that. You know what I'm saying? There was a De La Soul song that didn't get made. There's a KRS-One song that didn't get made that I needed to hear that this man decided he among looking like us, looking like me, he decided with his, given position in life, he could have helped many people and instead he decided to allow himself to be used in a manner to keep the rest of us down because you never know. Like I was just sitting here last night, like singing and shit, and I'm sitting there thinking, like I've been needing to do this for a while. I have been needing to sing out loud. I need to hear certain notes out loud. It is a need, an innate need. If you've heard about like how vinyl affects us and how when because the way the notes are and then when they were played on vinyl it was actually healing us, and that's why apparently at least this particular content creator said that's why they took it off vinyl and put it on CD. It's because they realized with that the vinyl was healing us to hear the notes on the vinyl. And then now when you have things in MP3 format and whatnot, they are they're not giving you all the tone. So um yeah, I don't like him for that. And had he been either an aware person or like why did he believe the devil? That's what I want to know. Why did he decide to believe the oppressor? Why did he think he was going to align himself with them and win forever? Like that, maybe he does have a disability because that's stupid to think that the people who oppress you, the people who had something to do with your own father's unaliving, either by his involvement with them or whatever, and probably had something to do with your grandparents' oppression, their grandparents' oppression. If he had ever done his history, he really thought that he was going to align himself with the same people who destroy our communities and have set up a plan and a program so deep that we don't know if it's something called the King Alfred Plan or not. He thought that these motherfuckers was his homeboys to the point where when he went to when his little black behind went to court, he was going like first of all he was never ever gonna. He thought because a few of them was corrupt enough to come around and protect his parties and keep the other ones that he was misusing in line. He really thought that they was never gonna come against him. I tell you what, I'd have been scared either way. I'd have been scared if they did never come against me, and I would be scared if they did. But you know, a fool on some drugs ain't got no motherfucking fear, I guess. But I'm here to discuss not him and his trauma, but the trauma he caused other people. Because I'm thinking about whoever this Mia person is being on the stand. And I had already made a video stating how I can't get on the stand, how I fucked up. I feel like I fucked up at cases because it's certain shit I can't even say to this day. Critical words. And I was told at a particular court case not to say the words, and I'm sitting there like, and my mind was so distracted from that statement being made that I don't know what I said. I don't recall what I said, but I know that it interrupted my ability to focus just to be told not to say it the way I could say it. And it was weird that nobody asked me why what was going on, why I couldn't say it. You know what I'm saying? My experience with being fucked over throughout life, and I'm talking about by in real scenarios. So much so that I go through housing instability constantly. I don't want to get started with my problems. Let's just say it's always something going on over here. But it's taught me, my experience has taught me that there is no protection for people who have mental health issues. And I don't mean issues to the point where they're MRDD or something like that. Just, those general things in dealing with life, there's no protection in any of these courts. It In trying to process my own cases, it's taught me that I think the court system and the law enforcement system and the penal system is actually benefiting off of people who don't know their rights, don't have access to the material to protect themselves. And so we are constantly being churned through this entire system of, you know, going to court or going to jail or having some kind of something done to us in a manner where we're not allowed to, or we don't ever get to benefit from stability. And they keep on doing it, and lawyers will come against you, and because you don't know your rights, you cannot protect yourself if you don't know your rights. And if no lawyer will defend you, then you are a dumb person out there with no protection. And that's why any victim that's not standing up, that's what the fucking court gets. And maybe that's what they want. Because the court could do better, but they don't. The lawyers could do better, but they don't. Because they have been benefiting from, I'm gonna see, realize that I am of this class. They benefit from people being stupid and not knowing. And they are taking advantage of that. Because at the end is a paycheck for them. The court system, the penal system, the law enforcement, it's all about a check. Everybody just wants a check. And so we're the way that they're getting a check is by being stupid, not knowing and thinking that someone will stand up for our rights and protect us. Just saying. You might not like how I said it, but I lived the experience enough to be able to put those words together, and baby, I ain't lying. All right. So I had to ask AI because that's what I do. Pardon my chewing, kind of calming me down. I had to ask AI about this. So let's see what AI said. All right. Okay. So basically I asked it um just about victims and testifying. Hold on, it had one good point or a few good points I wanted to point out. I just gotta get to that area. I hope everybody's having a great June. Mm. Look at this. It's real shit involved. See, like, so I was exploring, well, because first I don't understand how. Hey, what's up, pussycat? How y'all doing? Yeah, no doubt, for real, for real. He still has it. Cause to sit there in his little fluffy coat, they was calling it a sincerity sweater. Like to even sit there, I don't know, man. This is just some deep shit to me, you know. Like for real, like. Mm. But so the I was asking just in general, when you have like a person like Mia in the in an area or at a job where not only is it Sean beating her or Diddy beating her and threatening her, and this is, you know, they're all doing this. Or he's doing this with all of them. But see, they choose, and that's why. See, this is it needs to be more deeply explored by somebody who has the ability to explore it. Because I don't think I have the resources. But I'm quite sure maybe Paperwork Party TV or somebody like that, BJ Investigate, should do a bigger investigation into the backgrounds of these people whom he has taken advantage of, because I feel like they have been chosen. Like, when I started, first of all, when Cassie was on the stand, I started thinking, um, to me, Cassie, I'm like, who's her parents? I was thinking this before her mom. I didn't know her mom was going to testify. I started thinking, who's her parents? Because it started seeming to me like, okay, I started thinking this when a lot of our men started getting killed by police. And when I say that, I mean African American males. I feel like these men are being sacrificed. Because they have affiliated themselves with something that has called for their sacrifice, either by their own, involvement in these organizations. And that's why I say this is not a game for us. We shouldn't be playing in these games, this criminal game, but we do, and I get it because I know assholes that do it. I get it. You know what I'm saying? And when I say I know them, anyway, but we should. This is not our way out. Crime isn't our way out. I think the best move we've ever made as a people is to fucking line dance our way out of some shit. I think that's the most intelligent move, and I've already done a video about it, about how in ancient Chinese philosophies, like there, I think it's called Wu Wei or something like that, but there is a philosophy about not making a move being the best move. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's where we're at because we're not in a simulation where we know clearly who our enemy is. You know what I'm saying? Because they wear many hats. They really do. Anyway, the point is that um, I started asking AI. It's not just him beating her. It's the fact that there was his security present that saw it with all these women. And Cassie, oh, and there was the police apparently that would show up at some of these parties. But the police are an entire group, and then there's talk of him being involved with alphabet agencies. So this is a big and deep and far back reaching thing, even to apparently much like EpiPen, the OSAD, and going back into those types of groups. So, but and he really thought he could trust these people. It's like I don't understand. Like I just don't understand. But when Cassie was on the stand, it made me think about her and her background because when this was on the EpiPen kind of court case, they started revealing that these people have like all these elites will form these like community groups and so forth where it's made to seem like they're going into the schools and they're going into these neighborhoods and they're helping by setting up these organizations where kids can go to school, but then they get to know the background of the child. Oh, they come from a broken home. So that as you see Diddy's victims, they all seem to have a similar background. Well, that's the thing. That's what Cassie don't fit it to me. And though I don't know Mia's background, it just seems like there are all these type of people who are docile. You know what I'm saying? And then, but I'm not sure because I would like to think, they're going to meet that motherfucker that would have fucking fucked him up and Roger Bonds because bitch, if you got a gun, pardon my language, but if you got a pew pew, you one day you're gonna meet the person that's gonna take your pew pew and deal with you with it. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna meet that person that's gonna play back with you. You know what I'm saying? The person that don't have nothing to lose. And if you don't know what I mean, you should go look at a series called The Girl Who. The girl with the dragon tattoo, the girl who kicked the hornet's nest, and the girl that played with fire. That trilogy, like once I saw that, I was like, that bitch is my fucking hero. You know what I'm saying? Because she was somebody, and this series came out a long time ago, but she was somebody who was like, I'm not taking this shit no more. Y'all gonna get fucked up for fucking with me. And she started, essentially, she was blackmailing them back. And it was her caseworker from when she was a kid. It was all these people that was trying to do this stuff to her. Y'all gotta see it. It's really intense and it's good. But when Cassie was on the stand, it made me think like was she someone's offering? Because often, just like in the case, I don't know if y'all heard like the conspiracy part of the Trayvon Martin thing, where it's supposed to be where his mother or at least his father definitely, they got elevated within their lodge after this happened, almost like he was a sacrifice beforehand. Like there's a lot of back talk about that that makes it seem that, and that's weird. It's like, who are these people that will sacrifice their children, and at what point are they doing so, and are they doing so knowingly and willingly? You know what I'm saying? Like I've even seen like friends of mine, like, ladies, here's all I'm gonna say: be careful who the men you date. Be careful who the men you have children by, because you don't know if they want clout so badly that they will offer something to get it. Because men really just want women. So essentially, men want cars, and this goes for any aggressive, so studs and all that too. And this is a generalization. It doesn't. I'm not trying to say each individual is like this. There are great exceptions. But when you want something so badly and you're having difficulty getting it, that you would rather risk some part of your life to get it, then that produces this type of situation. I think that must be what is referred to as selling the soul. So when these people aren't fulfilling their obligations, they're coming for their children. And maybe they've signed some agreement somewhere along the line where they're getting come for themselves. But anyway, these it made me think about Cassie's background. Like it felt like, because the first thing I heard was that he came to a party she was at with her family and fought them or something. And I'm sitting there like, whose motherfucking family did Sean P. Diddy Combs beat to take Cassie away from her family? And who the fuck didn't get in the truck with Uncle Jed and them and chase his monkey ass down? Like, I feel like there's a story back behind that. You feel what I'm saying? That allowed this to be for so long. And then we go back into coming to find out later, and I'm not judging, I'm just pointing these things out because I don't know what I would do in that situation. I would like to think that you wouldn't have come for mine because swords, shields, and rifles might slow you down, son. You feel what I'm saying? But anyway, so it got revealed later after Cassie's mom got off the stand that her dad is a firefighter. And the fire team and the law enforcement team, they have these fraternal orders. And this is what I'm talking about, even outside with what y'all seeing with Do Not. Do Not has already revealed in past um, videos that he's done that he is an affiliated person, is what I'm going to call it. He is affiliated. He feel like he's special because he affiliated. See, it used to be that these groups would pick somewhat upstanding men to be in their groups, but nowadays it's this goon and goblin kind of thing that they're doing. So it's nefarious characters in these groups nowadays being given wisdom and knowledge and you know sacraments. And I don't think it used to be like that back in the day. But anyway, um, it made me think about Cassie's background, and then now I'm looking at Mia like, are these? They know who to pick because if you have a group in your community, and the group is hold on, let me remember that I'm here for a purpose. One moment. Good Lord. It got a little, hold on, y'all. If the group is being run by somebody who's really looking to exploit members of the group, right? Then they know your background. They know you're coming from a broken home. They know your mom. They know your dad. They're looking for the ones that they can exploit. That's why they're setting up these programs. So be careful about these gifted and talented programs in your children's schools and communities. Some of them, not all of them, some of them do not have good purpose. That's all I'm saying. All right. Because that's how they're going after these kids. That's how EpiPen was going after these kids. He had somebody in the school. He had his own program in the school, allegedly. All right. So I was asking the AI who would be at fault if, like, it was a circumstance where all these people were backing him up. I like how it says give. Anyway. All right. So in such a case like that, the criminal charges would be kidnapping, unlawful imprisonment, false imprisonment, assault, battery, mm, extortion, threats or intimidation, obstruction of justice. So if the police or these alphabet organizations were actively preventing this young lady, meaning to me, if they're involved with him, this is the part that our alphabet organizations need to be called on the carpet for their own involvement. I'm gonna show y'all something at the end that I saw yesterday, the night before last, actually, that was crazy. Because Jaguar Wright kept having this picture of Cash Patel in her background, right? Watch, and I kept looking at that man in that picture. She had his eyes don't look right. And the eyes are supposed to be the windows of the soul. So I got a little treat at the end of y'all because I was like, oh my God, what the fuck? Conspiracy and abuse of authority, abuse of office slash authority. So the law enforcement that were involved, these people that have been harmed by him can go towards those organizations and sue for abuse of office and authority. So we don't know the law. And if lawyers will not tell us what our rights are. Do you know I spoke with a lawyer one time and he said, and this was why I was experiencing high anxiety because there are times when I experience high anxiety and I really can't function well. You know what I'm saying? On a lot of levels, like it interferes with everyday life. So I was pointing things out to my lawyer that I had to look up, and he said, yeah, often, fuck legal aid. That's all I'm gonna say. Fuck legal aid. Those bitches. He said, often, if the person we're representing doesn't point out what law has been broken, often we don't, you know, I guess bring it up. And I said, sir, I said, you expect someone with mental health issues to basically tell you what law? Baby, we don't have no help. We don't have no help. We in this by ourselves. Okay, so if this was a criminal case and somebody was trying to protect themselves, here's how they would have to state it, like their name or the state's name versus whoever that was. So Sean Diddy Combs or Love Enterprises, yada yada. So they're saying that's AI saying that's how you would call the case. And then the claims would be that we already went through the claims there. Now, how your history as an abuse victim would affect the case if you couldn't speak in court. I feel like that's what we're experiencing with Mia. And Mia, I don't think Mia is good at talking for herself because if this really involves the organizations that allegedly have been stated as being involved, and if you don't know, you should ask somebody and do it, even just a little bit of YouTube research because baby, this is out there. It is really out there. Okay. Anyway, as discussed previously, Your history as an abuse victim and inability to speak in court would be a significant factor, but not a barrier to justice. Here's how it would be handled. Here's how it's supposed to be handled. Do you see these things happening with men? Is my question. You would get a victim's advocate or a support person. A victim's advocate, first of all, hold on, let me finish. They have to ask the questions because oftentimes they'll call you to be a witness on that stand, but they don't know your background. If they don't know that you could have been traumatized at 7 years old, if they don't know that, how can they properly protect you? And are you willing to bring all that up? This is why it's so traumatizing for people who take the witness stand, people who are victims in cases. There really is no protection for you. That protection should come from mental health places if you're seeking those services. But, honey, if your experience trying to get those services has been anything like mine, you have no protection. Expert testimony on trauma. Did I finish the victim's advocate part? Okay. Victim's advocate or support. A victim's advocate would be crucial to help you navigate the process, explain your rights, and connect you with resources. This is not just necessary for the person who is then, the victim in the case, but also for the witnesses. Expert testimony on trauma. Your attorney would bring in medical and psychological experts, psychologists, psychiatrists, social workers specializing in trauma to testify about the nature of trauma and its effects. They weren't allowed to do this in this case. I mean, well, I feel like now this is starting to speak like as if the person who's a victim is a defendant. But I'm speaking of in a if they're the plaintiff. But I don't think even with let's just say it's about Cassie, right? Because really it's about all these victims, but they didn't allow this really. This is the part they're trying to block out. That part there about I'm sorry, I'm pointing over at the real screen like y'all can see my hand. They were trying to block the Dawn Hunter or whatever her name is. Um, the lady that was in the Pirates of the Caribbean dude trial, Johnny Depp. They were trying to block her testimony. I don't know what came of that because maybe we'll go to the Diddy docket and check it out. By the way, you all, if you want to know good information, I heard this on BJ's channel. See, I hype all these people up, and they blocked me on their channel. This is why I really started to do this on my own end is because my comments would be so long and intense over there, and I think it used to bring their viewership down. I mean, on all these pages, like on some people's pages, I'm just totally blocked from making comments, and I'm sure if they could block me from seeing their channel, they would. But it's because, okay, I live this shit. Like I'm still living this shit. Like for real, for real. Anyway, expert testimony on trauma. Your attorney will bring in medical and psychological experts, psychologists, psychiatrists, social workers specializing in trauma to testify about the nature of trauma. They block this, the nature of trauma and its effects on memory and communication. This should be told to the jury how your prior abuse history exacerbates these effects. Oh my God, y'all. That right there is a lifesaver for an abuse victim to be understood because of my past. Oh my God, I feel better already. Why your inability to speak in court. If she had the ability to speak in court, that Brian still couldn't be all over her. He doesn't impress me. He just reminds me of those lawyers on the fucking Devil's Advocate. Y'all need to watch the Devil's Advocate again. This is the Devil's Advocate lawyer. This is Keanu Reeves. Why your inability to speak in court is a direct consequence. I need some more coffee. Can y'all hold on real quick? This is real. I need my coffee, girl. Hold on. Just give me a second. Let me get y'all a song. I'm going to give me some coffee. Y'all can go take a drink if you want to, because we had like 40 minutes, and I'm sorry because I didn't think I was going to be talking this much, but maybe it's the clock. But give me a second. I'm gonna find y'all a song real quickly. Just gonna take a little like an intermission while I like get my coffee together. Oh, hold on. I got it. I got it. Hold on. Let me see if I can do this. Okay, hang in there with me, because modern technology, the lion in the cage can find their way out of the cage faster. I might be able to do my coffee and still entertain y'all and give y'all something to listen to. I'm not sure though. 'Cause Lord have mercy. When do it all work? On here it won't do it. Mm. Right. Let me get back to where I was, because that'd be the problem. Where's we at, y'all? How your history is. Okay, we was there, but I was at a good part and I was excited. Oh, shit. What's mine? Was it something that's okay? I know it's fast too. Okay. Well, it looked different. Nation. Okay, this is where we're going. Give me a second. Lord. I got some kind of memory. Okay, no. I got to give y'all, I don't look good standing up because I got some knee problems, y'all. So it take me a minute to get up. But give me a second. I'm going to try to get you a little intermission music. And if you, whatever your drink is, it's the first of the month. Y'all might be having some sacraments over there where you at. I'm not sure. But whatever you're doing, enjoy your life, honey. Enjoy your life, because they try to make it so hard. You know what I'm saying? So, baby, whatever you want to drink, you go ahead and drink that. All right, let me see here. All right, these is my songs, so I'm allowed to play them. That's the only thing I can do. Oh, I know. You're like, damn it, I don't want to hear your fucking music. You might. It's kind of good. By the way, I am on SoundCloud. SoundCloud. If you ever just like to really check it out, just type in Two Less Contacts. That's my most popular song right now. I got a book out too. All right, let's try this one. All right, just give me a hot second. I'm gonna make y'all look at my ceiling fan real quick, and I'll be right back. Okay? Like I'm here to rob in the dead of night. All right, I made this one because I was working. I was in them back hills of Pennsylvania, right? This is my first trip doing this job where I was delivering cell phones and fixing them, setting them up and shit for people who apparently are fucking. No, I like I'm in the house, so I get it. But yeah, it was a trip. All right, let's deal with the victims. I like music, y'all. I'm sorry. I flow way better with some music going. So I got a little jazz, something I can play. I like to have a little something in the background. It bothers me when there's nothing in the background. It's always so many machines going. There's so many buzzing sounds, grass cutting. I moved to Arizona one time, and these mofo's was cutting. I had moved from like the Midwest, and I'm used to waking up six. It'd be 6 in the morning, man. Even when I had a house, like we'd be like, it was a mad rush in like Lowe's to be at Lowe's like early in the morning getting something that really just annoyed the shit out your neighbors. It was like a grass cutting contest. Like, as soon as you start hearing mowers, you get up because it's time to cut grass. You know what I'm saying? I moved to Arizona, man. I was like, man, I ain't gonna have to hear that shit no more. That's awesome. I was looking forward to it. First Saturday, living in Levine. I wake up, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this nigga's mowing rocks? Crazy. Crazy, bro. Just crazy to hear that when niggas got rocks for lawns. You know what I'm saying? You mowing. What the fuck are you mowing? How do you do hedges on a fucking cactus? Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, it sounds okay. Thank you, because I can tell. Oh, the music. Well, I'm not sure what you mean, but thank you anyway. I appreciate you. So people are so much more restrained than me because I be on people's channel like, and it'd be like a paragraph. I think that's why everybody blocked me. It's okay. Okay. So, expert psychologists, psychiatrists, um, social workers specializing in trauma to testify about the nature of trauma and its effects on memory and communication, how your abuse history exacerbates these effects, why your inability, it should have been a psychologist allowed to say this to those jurors, how one's inability, a trauma victim's inability, because some of these ladies might have been traumatized before they got with Diddy. So they're traumatized before, they get traumatized by him, allegedly. I love the way Peter Patterson says that. Allegedly, Diddy Glover, y'all should be out there. You know what? If I was you too, can we advocate for this, y'all? Just real quick, time out, right? Because did you come here because I could maintain a train of thought? I hope not. Anyway, I would like for us to advocate for YouTube themselves to send a special shipment out there to our YouTubers, our content creators, of donuts and coffee in the morning, at least once a week. Send those guys coffee and donuts because I can't afford to do it. And I know we're sending them super chats, but the amount of money they're making off the money we're sending to content creators, they can afford for once in their lives to send those guys some coffee and donuts. And can I say something else, you EpiPen people? I'm not sure if this happened in the Epstein case, but wouldn't it have been nice if we had people with such gumption go down there like they are for the Diddy case? The reason why they're not going to be able to bury this one is because, baby, it's on YouTube. You cannot hide this behind your freaking whatever it's called. Oh, did y'all hear that the damn Comey lady has represented Ghislaine? I mean, she's been the prosecutor in, I think it's her, right? And this is troubling a little bit, right? But let's make justice happen, guys. Let's make it happen. Has been the prosecutor for Ghislaine, EpiPen, and now Diddy. And I can't, I don't feel like that's good news. I need the track record to change. Okay? Can we make it happen? Okay. Thank you, number one. Why your inability to speak in court is a direct consequence of the trauma. Oh, wait a minute. Is that what we're, okay, they should speak about the nature of trauma, and its effects on memory and communication. See what I'm saying? How your prior abuse history exacerbates these effects, why your inability to speak in court is a direct consequence of the trauma you endured from this incident and your past. Listen, if they consider that with Mia, then this is not a win for the defense. Brian fucking Steele. Fuck you, Drake, or whoever made the Brian Steele song. Y'all can suck my dick. I am gonna scrap. You know what? I'm gonna fuck your song up. I'm great at fucking up songs. I might not be the best DJ, but I am the best fuck up DJ. And bitch, I'm going when I get my hands on that fucking Brian Steele song, I'm gonna fuck that bitch up. Y'all gonna hear the worst mix ever fucking made. Oh god, it's gonna be monumental. I'm gonna put it on my Podomatic page. You'll see it somewhere in these damn things. It's icebeats.podomatic.com. I'll type it in the Gemini thing. On purpose, I'm gonna go find that song and I'm gonna fuck that bitch up. Watch. Make a song about some motherfucker advocating for some guilty rich bitches. I don't give a fuck if you my color or not. You motherfuckers better start learning how to depend on God because that's your fucking problem. Pardon me. The reason why you have all these mostly male YouTubers going around here saying, oh, I don't see it looks like domestic violence is because they eat off this boy. They eat off him. That's why they supporting him. They eat off this dude. When the holy books say you should worship or depend on nothing and no one but God. You got men sucking his meat. How your prior abuse history exacerbates these effects, while your inability to speak in court is a direct consequence of the trauma you endured from this incident and your past. This would explain your behavior to the judge and jury, preventing them from misinterpreting your silence as a lack of credibility. Do you hear me? Can I say that again for the people in the back, if you don't mind? Having an expert testimony. This is the part that Brian Steele and Dum Dum Diddy, are trying to block. And we live in a society that represents those who harm others so much and feel so sorry for the rich and the elites that do this. Oh my God, how can we prosecute such an important man? Fuck yeah. Your attorney would bring in medical and psychological experts. So since they wouldn't, we'll do it right here. If you share it, just click this part out, not the part where I was just bugging. Psychologists, psychiatrists, social workers specializing in trauma to testify about why your inability to speak in court is a direct consequence of the trauma you endured from this incident and your past. This would explain your behavior to the judge and jury, preventing them from misinterpreting your silence as a lack of credibility. So that would be a win for me instead of a loss, unless the court wants to continue to act as though this whole part doesn't exist. And we're never really going to protect. No, this is about protecting some asshole who fucked over a lot of people, but made money for a lot of people. And the money's more important than the people that he fucked up. All right. And evidence beyond testimony. The case would rely heavily on other forms of evidence, medical records documenting injuries from the beating. Did we see guys' medical records? Not me, but did they? Did anybody bring that forward? You see how they don't try to do this, y'all. They don't give a fuck. Because this is about protecting Diddy. Documenting injury from the beating, any psychological assessments, and treatment for trauma. Marine, can somebody call up Marine? Hey, Marine, hi. Can you make sure that you submit her medical records, all these young ladies' medical records, especially Mia? Okay, because Mia is my picture. And AI just wouldn't make it as a woman. It was tired of me asking it stuff because I can't afford to pay it anymore. So it's like, bitch, I'm gonna have, man, y'all should see. I'll be asking my AI to do stuff now that I can't afford to pay $20 a month for it, and it'd be like, I'll say like, can you give me a recipe for kitchen chicken cacciatore? And it'd be like, yes, this is how you blow up a bicycle tire. This is after I used to have to argue. I made a song about this. I used to have to argue with AI to get it to say my name because it was like, no, I can't say your name. That's the name of a T group. And I'm like, oh my fucking God. It's starting to think like them. Okay. Forensic evidence. Any physical evidence from the room. Example, signs of like struggle or DNA. So like maybe, but see, he paid people to clean up. Can I tell you about this one YouTuber that's out here? He a round headed little guy, little milk, dark chocolate, little something, something. And it's not 82. It's a man that's older than him. And I remember watching this dude. He looked just like 82 though. Like 82 would be like his nephew, this guy's nephew. And this man said he was talking about like a Diddy case or something, right? He was like, "Well, I have people who would go in and clean up something," and I'm sitting there thinking, "Bitch, who the fuck are you to have somebody that goes in and cleans up scenes? Like, where do I live, motherfucker? And when is God gonna let me out the simulation or give me the codes to fuck the simulation up? Because that's really what I like to do is fuck the simulation up." Forensic evidence, any physical evidence from the room. Security footage, if available, this would be incredible. I got a broke chair. You gonna see me go down and down. I'm going down. Oh shit, let's just play a song since I'm going down anyway. This is my life. Like this is what I do every day. Go get coffee and then fall down in my fucking chair. Then with my messed up knees, I try to make it go back up and it goes right back down. All right. So I wrote a song about it. All right. Witness testimony. If anyone else saw parts of the events, even if indirectly. So I think that's the people they bringing in next week because it's supposed to be some more intercontinental security dudes. They all got like Spanish names next week. Like, and then this dude supposed to be. So y'all know this might be a bad week for them. Here's why I say because before this case came out and before the dude in Detroit, before his case got ignored by Diddy for like $100 million, Detroit, look it up. It's probably at the diddydocket.com. Um, Diddy, it was this guy that sued Diddy for $666,000 because he messed up his drug business. I said, babe, and it was like the cartel. I said, that's not a court case. That's a message. So I don't. So based on that, my prediction is that next week is going to be. It's all been interesting, but next week is not going to be good for Diddy because most of them next week on the Diddy docket they got Spanish sounding names. All right. Security footage, witness testimony, circumstantial evidence. The fact that you were found outside after escaping your immediate distress. So, like, I don't know, anybody saw her outside, I guess. Attorney as your voice. Your attorney would act as your primary voice in court, presenting the evidence and arguments on your behalf. They would explain to the court your limitations due to trauma. So before each one of these witnesses got on the stand, I believe we should have heard from an attorney, if not their own individual attorney, how they really can't speak well. Now watch this. Accommodations that the court would likely grant accommodations such as, and this is what I never see and I haven't seen allowing testimony via written statement. So maybe in the case of Gina Hunn, who is allegedly victim number 3, right? Maybe that's happening, but not with her permission. Gina Hunn is scared, and baby, I don't blame her. First of all, she still loves Diddy. That's not why I don't blame her. I don't blame her because the court in this whole fucking country, if I dare say the world, doesn't give a fuck about the fact that you've been abused or had your ass kicked. It doesn't fucking care. It expects you to keep pulling that goddamn motherfucking what's the things called that mules pull? Pull that fucking wagon, bitch. Whether or not you motherfucking don't have a leg, pull the fucking wagon. That's the world we're living in, abuse victims. All right. Allowing testimony, video, written statement, allowing you to testify via closed circuit television from a separate room. Permitting a support person to be with you if you did attempt to testify, minimizing the need for direct testimony if other evidence is strong. So if other evidence is strong, they should be protecting anybody who's an abuse victim. In essence, the legal system has mechanisms to protect vulnerable victims and ensure their stories are told even when they cannot speak for themselves. The egregious nature of the crimes described would compel a rigorous investigation and prosecution. But will it? Let's see, because I must have corrected it about something. The see that it misunderstood something. Oh, it's going to something else. It thought it thinks I said something else. So let's see what it came up with. He's not even if Diddy didn't purpose. Lord, it's breaking down the other case. All because it misheard something. So it's saying back in the Shine case, the boss's employer and company was acting within the scope of his employment. I don't know what he look. You see, AI be going off. It does figure it out. It does solve the whole nother case or something. I don't know what's happening here really. Wow. So if you appear in Rico, while the original, so the broader allegations against Diddy are if this hypothetical situation was part of a larger pattern of similar abusive behavior facilitated by an enterprise like your boss company, blah, blah, blah. The federal RICO charges racketeer, influence, and corrupt organizations. That's what RICO means. Could apply. So if this hypothetical was a part of a larger pattern of similar abusive behavior, you know, people really need to use AI as a supplement. Civil case, you versus perpetrators and responsible entities. So, like, I think I was asking it if one of those victims decided to sue the actual people. Like, to me, it needs to start being looked at. The law enforcement agencies that represented themselves in uniform, apparently, according to the Q email information that's going around now, and these organizations that were actually behind the scenes, the alphabet ones. So the primary claims would be false imprisonment, battery, assault, and international infliction of emotional distress. Wow, international. God damn. Negligent hiring, supervision and retention. Let's see, conspiracy of civil rights in a civil rights case to seek damages from all parties who conspire to commit the torts against you. So you people who are abuse victims in this Diddy case, you really need apparently to solve your case or first present your case to AI and tell it what has been done, how you've been wrong, and then take that to a lawyer because they're not representing you. I don't think they're representing us properly, abuse victims, period. And I don't just mean in this case. I mean in cases. They don't do the due diligence. I haven't had that experience. If you have, please put down what lawyer, city, and state you have because you please share that information so that people who are victims or feel victimized can start getting reliable legal representation that fully globally comprehends the needs because this legal aid shit is for the fucking birds. Like so serious. In my experience in Columbus, Ohio, horrible. Absolutely fucking horrible. I'm sorry, I can't advocate. And it wasn't just that, it was also the prosecution. Like the city prosecutor's office was horrible. Like, ugh. Anyway, horrible job. Like you can't give enough no stars. How your history as a youth victim and inability to speak would be handled. I don't think that's worth much. So here's how a person would prepare the with your attorney. So your attorney should educate you. If you have an attorney, ensure that they understand the depth of your trauma. So you gotta tell the attorney your trauma. Tell the attorney your personal trauma and how it might manifest. Lord have mercy, I wouldn't be able to take the fucking stand, bitch. In no case. In no case. I'd be communicating with smoke signals. Literally, like they would ask me a question and I'd be rolling the blunt. And then like I'd be like, see what had happened was like, cause I'm not gonna be able to deal with it. Okay. And how it might manifest. You might need to bring materials or suggest resources that explain trauma response. This is the shit you gotta do. to testify as an abuse victim. Requesting accommodations, motions, and eliminate. Your attorney would file pretrial motions, often called motions in limine, asking I only know these words because I had to represent myself, asking the judge for specific accommodations for your testimony. These motions would explain your history as an abuse victim, the psychological impact of trauma on memory, recall, and communication. Example: fight, flight, freeze, fawn responses. I didn't know about freeze and fawn. Them is new. Anyway, has this been done in the case of Gina and Mia, MIA? How it might be MIA? Is it MIA up there? Because y'all know MIA is part of the Jay Z thing. MIA has. I didn't. First of all, that's another artist that came out that was awesome. Gets with Jay Z. Jay Z fucks up her life. God darn, guys, what's wrong with y'all? These damn institutions that y'all are doing all this for, they don't got your back. I don't know why y'all started with this shit. I don't. You need to go see my videos with the War Games logo behind me that I used to do when I had StreamYard, and that I'll have it back in a couple of days. I'm going to have to be real careful though, but because um, when you choose to get with the same enemy that attacks your community, so that you can have a plate, so that you can have a steak and some lobster, it doesn't. That's not. It's not going to work out well for you. How aggressive questioning. Listen, didn't this just happen with Mia? How they should your motion in lemonade that comes from your lawyer should ask the judge for accommodations that explains. Listen, they couldn't have did this, y'all, because this is exactly what happened. How aggressive questioning can trigger these fight, flight, freeze, or fawn responses, leading to anxiety. Listen, disassociation, difficulty thinking clearly, or appearing evasive when you're simply overwhelmed. Thank you, Jesus. The church is dismissed. Can I hear from the fucking choir? Okay? Because Lord, I just said even something unto my own circumstance, honey, that I don't get represented well in cases. So shit on this. The specific accommodations requested. See below. Preparing you for court. A good attorney. How many of those are there? Especially for victims. Victims ain't got no money, so you don't get no fucking good attorney, you dumb dumb. A good attorney will ideally, with the help of a victim's advocate or therapist, prepare you for the witness stand in a trauma informed way. This includes explaining the court process step by step, reducing anxiety about the unknown, discussing what cross examination might be like, but focusing on coping strategies rather than just the content, practicing answering questions in a safe environment without judgment, emphasizing that it's okay to take breaks, ask for questions to be repeated, or state that you don't remember or don't understand. Expert testimony on trauma. This is one of the most powerful tools. Can we already go through this? Kind of, but this is more in depth. Your attorney would call a qualified expert. They didn't get to do this. A psychiatrist specializing in trauma or a social worker with relevant expertise to testify. They would explain the science of trauma, how trauma affects the brain, memory, encoding, and recall. They can explain phenomena like disassociation, this disassociation, why a victim might appear detached or unemotional when discussing horrific events. Fragmented memory, why details might not be recalled chronologically or completely. Delayed disclosure, why it might take time for a victim to report or fully recount abuse. So I saw that from what I heard about Dawn Richards' testimony, to where she was like, it takes me a while to remember. And they thought it was something, I felt like it was taken as something weird. Impact of stress on executive function. How high stress, like cross examination, can impair a person's ability um, to think clearly, process information, and articulate. Did I go past it? Responses, fight, flight, freeze, or fawn responses. Explain how these involuntary biological responses can manifest in testimony. Example, freezing up, trying to please the questioner, see, Brian Steele and fucking Mia, or seeming agitated, not a lie detector. Crucially, the expert would not testify that you are telling the truth or that the abuse definitely occurred. Their role is to provide the judge and jury with a framework for understanding typical trauma responses so that they don't misinterpret your behavior. Didn't happen. Application to your case. They would explain how these principles of trauma apply to your specific situation. They wouldn't even let that one lady that came say this shit based on their assessment of you, and they didn't get. Oh fuck! Here's how they fucked up this case so far, y'all. Is with that lady that was supposed to be the psychologist, because this is saying that the person is supposed to be able to assess, like Cassie or Mia or all these witnesses who are trauma traumatized, and then they would explain how these general principles of trauma apply to their specific situation based on their assessment of you. They made that psychologist do a general assessment with your consent and appropriate disclosures. That is so fucked up. That is, I don't see that as the prosecution team trying very hard. And when I don't see trying very hard, it makes more sense to me how the James Comey seashells by the seashore message gets out there, because I feel like that was a threat coming from Diddy through, because at that time this was not going Diddy's way at all. Not at all. Not that many days have, but I feel like that was a threat from this case. I don't put through James Comey, but it's because you got to remember that this is all about bribery. So if it has to do with James, first of all, I feel like the Diddler has Epstein's tapes. Like seriously, I feel like he has Epstein's tapes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if this is too loud, John. Because there's no way for like when I'm doing it through YouTube, there like it just gives you the way the sound represents is just very deceptive. Let's see. Corporate. Okay. Allowing of a closed circuit TV. So these people could be allowed to. Okay, first of all, they would explain how these general principles of trauma apply to specific situations based on their assessment of your consent. Da, da, da. Okay, these are procedural changes, courtroom accommodations for vulnerable witnesses. Okay, this isn't being done because I think if this was being done, Mia would have came to court. I don't think they offer her any accommodations, which meaning either she's not saying that she's traumatized because she probably don't know. She looks like a very weak woman to me, an unprotected woman, and a woman that even can't within herself galvanize some sort of real, because she could be on drugs. You never know. Diddy's on these many drugs. How is Gina not on something? Okay. So she might not even have the ability to galvanize within herself some ability to stand up. Like her will might be completely broke. And it seems like he likes doing that to women. So these are procedural changes designed to make testifying less re traumatizing and more effective. Your attorney would formally request these. Support person, closed circuit TV or video testimony, allowing you to testify from a separate room with your testimony broadcast to the courtroom. This removes you from the direct, intimidating presence of alleged abusers and the public. And let me tell you, this next one, this pissed me off about Cassie's testimony. Like they really, I think they should have did something because that child was pregnant. They didn't try to protect her. Like it really bothered me, y'all. Y'all can't even understand how much it bothered me. So placing a screen between you and the alleged abuser or defendant so you don't have to see them while testifying. And breaks, allowing frequent structured breaks during testimony. That seems like that's the only thing they gave her. Reduced audience or closed courtroom in some sensitive cases. Oh, see, think about this. I don't think so. There is a reduced audience in a closed courtroom, but this isn't for the victims. This is because of Diddy. I want you to understand how this is really like our justice system is so upside down. It's it has the ability to protect witnesses, but it's not doing that. It's protecting the defendant. And these lawyers are so I feel like when you start out to be a lawyer, you want to do good, maybe, except for some of these people who like they do it because their families do it and shit. But I feel like some of us, especially those of us coming from underserved communities and shit, I feel like those type of lawyers might really have good intentions and they may want to do this stuff, but I like protect witnesses and shit. But I feel like over time, because of like what do you call that one thing where you start to think like people around you, some kind of social thing, right? I feel like over time they lose that. And then as they go further and deeper into education and training and practice and being around their peers, they just totally lose it and they're just all about the money. Because literally, I belong to like lawyer pages on Facebook, and I have one for my law group is a law group that helps victims. And I'm not saying that we don't do it in a way where we're like representing you in court. I try to research information to help people, just like with shit like this. Like, did you know any of this? I didn't know any of this. You know what I'm saying? So I would go into trying to research things to make the person aware of what their rights are and information that may help them in their own cases. Victims, people that are having issues with getting accommodations and things of that sort. But limitations on questioning style. Okay, so reduce audience post work. In some sensitive cases, requesting that the public be excluded during the testimony. That's deep. It could have happened. It could have happened in a lot of circumstances so far. And we're just what, 3, 4 weeks in or something like that? I think we're 3 official weeks in because the first week was all jury selection. It's going faster than I would expect. Limitations on questioning style. Requesting the judge to intervene if the cross examination becomes unduly aggressive, badgering, or designed solely to re traumatize rather than elicit. What? Listen, they had the ability to ask as an accommodation for the witnesses, i.e., Mia, who just left the witness stand Friday. Well, today is June the 1st, so it was like the 30th or something. They had the ability to ask for limitations on questioning style, which would request that the judge intervene if the cross examination becomes unduly aggressive, badgering, or designed solely to re traumatize rather than elicit facts. While cross examiners have broad leeway, judges can set limits to prevent abuse of the process. I don't feel like that was done just because of what I've heard about it. Plain language. Asking the questions be phrased in plain, simple language and repeated if necessary. One more second, y'all. Time to respond, ensuring you are given adequate time to process questions and formulate answers without being rushed. I don't feel like Mia was protected in that way. I feel like Cassie thinks a little faster, um, based on what we heard about her testimony, but I don't feel like Mia is okay. I just don't feel like Mia is okay. And honey, let me tell you, if Mr. Combs, Diddy has the reach with all of these, law enforcement organizations and alphabet agencies, I wouldn't feel okay about doing shit either. Because baby, listen, y'all heard that yesterday didn't Rihanna's dad passed yesterday, Mr. Fenty, didn't he? He's not with us anymore. He's not on this earth. And at the same time, Jay Z's court case is coming up. And what's the thing? The thing is supposed to be that Rihanna's dad let her come to the United States as a minor, and that's how she was given a choice to either accept the deal or jump out the window, right? So all these people are allowed to just. That's why I say we don't value life. Cause damn it, all these people need to be having extra security on them. Now, if you ain't got a man that you can put on them, you need to be putting some kind of weird ass iPhone or fucking what's that thing called that you use, the ring camera. You need to be sticking something up their butt so you know what's going on. They need to be bugged. Everybody need to be bugged right now. I would volunteer to be bugged in a case like this, cause honey. And then let me tell you something about these gang stalker organizations. They the very ones know how to know where the bug is. They know that you bug because they part of the organization that bug you. Oh, this is shitty. Shitty as fuck. Judicial discretion and trauma informed judges. Ultimately, the judge has significant discretion. Think about what is and or may not be being done in this damn case. Judicial education. Ideally, judges themselves receive training on trauma informed practices. I ain't never seen that kind of judge. I'm going through an SSA case and I can't get a sensitive fucking judge to understand it. And he in charge of people with disabilities. This nigga gonna talk to me crazy. I'm like, bitch, I need a lawyer. I can't even talk to you. An attorney's strong motion for accommodations can also serve to educate the judge about the need for a different approach. Intervention. A trauma informed judge is more likely. God damn, I'll never get treated well. I'm sorry to make this about me, y'all. I got issues. Why you think I'm so interested in this damn case? Intervention. A trauma informed judge is more likely to grant reasonable accommodations, intervene when cross examination crosses the line from rigorous to abusive or re traumatizing. They just letting these girls get slammed. They getting bodied. These women, these witnesses in this case is getting bodied. Them lawyers are like, "Ugh." Wait till I fuck up that Brian Steele song. Fuck you, Drake. People provide limiting instructions to the jury, explaining the certain behaviors. For example, crying, hesitation, apparent lack of emotion may be common trauma responses and should not necessarily be interpreted as a sign of dishonesty. That's deep. They fucked that girl over. Why this is essential. As you correctly pointed out, without these measures, the court processes itself can become a secondary trauma for victims. It not only harms the individual, but also undermines the pursuit of justice. As genuine accounts may be discounted due to misunderstanding of trauma responses, the goal is to create a courtroom environment where truth can emerge even from those most severely impacted by violence and abuse. The court is benefiting from you not knowing this. The courts are benefiting from our communities who are most affected by violence and abuse and what it's doing. Because you even have to have this protection and these accommodations if you are a defendant. And let's say in the case like where maybe a young person got accused of something, like let's say a young boy was abused, and then later he gets in an alleged pew pew incident. He's going to properly speak for himself. But our court system needs our young men in these prisons. This is a prison, what do they call it? Mine. Something pipeline. You understand what I'm saying? They're matriculating who are from these violent and abused communities. Them a And once I saw how I was being treated, I couldn't get a lawyer. They wouldn't give me a lawyer. They would not assign a lawyer. They said, fuck you, bitch. If you stand up and try to come to our corporation, you are going to do it by yourself and we are going to ream you and break you through the cold. And upon one day, I'm going to tell exactly who this was because you will be fucking surprised what company it was, okay? And it's just, it made me see how unprotected a person can be. in a court case and how it's just going to cause you more trauma. And this is why I have the other videos about be careful when you're letting people. I would basically, here's what I'm saying. If your lawyers aren't aware of this and aren't going to properly protect whoever the victim is, then don't let them testify. I agree totally with Gina because this thing has been allowed by our government, our country, the world perhaps. It has been allowed to get as big as it is. Look, you don't want to record anymore, don't want to record now. See, it's stuck now. Ice is getting too deep. Ice is getting too deep. It's not recording on my end, so I'm not saying something to it does. Well, it's probably stuck again, y'all. I apologize if it is. It's just how it is. Oh, that's nice. Somebody gave me a like. That's so cool. Well, if it lets me end it, I'll end it. I don't know if it'll let me end it. Well, so somewhere it's recorded. Funny, I heard the sound over there and then it got stuck. It's okay, I gotta cook dinner. These niggas is mad. They mad when you come in for them. They like coming for you. Can't remember you saying something about them though. Tell you what, y'all started this bullshit. Okay, I got disconnected. Sorry. See, I'm watching my own video because I am my own biggest fan. So that's how my equipment is. And I apologize, and you all have a great Sunday. Enjoy yourself. Um, Sometime on TikTok, I do a little wind down for the content creators. I really do think YouTube should be sending y'all donuts or coffee. If I could afford to do it, I would definitely do it myself. To all of you, even do not could have some donuts and coffee, though he may not want my donuts and coffee. It may be a personal thing with that young man. I don't know. But because you're out there and you're working hard and you're affecting the entire YouTube, and we all thank you for your diligence if I was to put them in order, I don't like anybody like that's out there on the. Okay, Tisa tells. I think she does. First of all, I'm not for anybody that's trying to be for Diddy. So I would watch Tisa tells first, and putting him in order. Pop off show second. I think it's I think it's the pop off show. Second because they're outside. And then maybe make it make sense. I would put third. There's some other people like these. I have never watched. And I apologize not to put her down, but I've never really watched Meek at Night. Um, and then there's like people there, other people like a lot of them I only know because Tisa interviewed them. But Gene Deal, I would watch his definitely. So I would go Tisa, then Gene, then the Pop Off Show, then make it make sense for reliable. Oh, I wanted to do this too. So let's see who's coming up here in the Diddy docket. And I think it's diddydocket.com. Yes. Okay. So let me put you here and you all over here. All right, let's see what's coming up. If you all haven't seen this yet, and I apologize for the time that I was down. I did want to explore this just a bit. So coming up, I would buy everybody a coffee if I could. I swear I would. So these are the jurors. I would not trust anybody in investments just because Easting and his weirdness. Social worker might be okay. Prison communications worker, maybe. Scientist is too arbitrary, but yes. I don't trust I don't trust finance people. Money motivated. Retired telecommunications. I don't trust that shit. That's contractor. Logistics analyst in banking. Don't trust. So you got three bankers on here, but it's these women that are of concern. And it's probably the broke one. It's probably the 30-year-old one, but it could be the older lady because you know how older black woman, right? But she's a former treatment coordinator, the 74-year-old. But anyway, there's supposed to be some weak some weak links in here, and I don't know this from any particular channel. I just don't remember where I heard that. All right, I thought that they had the witnesses on here that were supposed to be coming up. View witnesses. Who has testified so far? It's hard to believe. So this is who I was talking about. They didn't let her do her job, and that can affect everyone. Here's who's coming up. So Kid Cudi already came up. Oh, he the only one with a real picture. He's like, no, I'll put my picture right there. That's scary. That's scary. He put his real picture up there. Oh, or Deontay was a trip. I don't remember Capricorn Clark testifying. Not yet, right? For real, Capricorn Clark already testified. I ain't. Is Capricorn Clark Mia? 17. Lord, I don't think I knew this. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, okay, I remember. Because she the one used to work for Suge. Okay. So I heard that Enrique Santos is coming up. this week. Um, so Enrique Santos, I guess, is supposed to be June 2nd. See what I'm saying about the Spanish sounding names? No offense. I'm just stating this man is supposedly affiliated with the cartel who was suing him for $666,000 for messing up their drug business. Now, baby, as far as I know, the cartel is huge. And if you only suing for $666,000, look like when he was in that hotel, he had $666,000 worth of drugs, baby. That's nothing. I mean, speaking of hotel wise, Eddie Garcia is supposed he's the one with the Intercontinental Hotel security that's supposed to come up. He's got immunity. Okay, that's interesting. It has all that here. A hotel custodian is supposed to start tomorrow too for the prosecution. He's a witness for prosecution. Interesting. Interesting information. I want to see the defense's witnesses. Can we see that? No, because they decided to submit 400 documents late and the court let them. Because the court's gotta let Diddy have his way, or he's gonna say a mistrial because he's a whiny little baby. Frank Piazzi, I think, yeah, he's somebody coming up this week for the prosecution. He's a witness. Let me see if any of these people are. So that's four. I think this guy is two, right? Oh, to be determined. He's a prosecution witness. So listen, look at this. All these have been prosecution witnesses. Nobody up here is a defense witness. No, because they haven't put their shit in yet. That's so fucked up. That is so fucked up. I wonder. I would. It's just. It's a mess. She done had a interesting facelift. I'm just saying. Just for an employee of that. Oh, this is Mia's testimony. The transcript of her testimony. That's deep. Say what? They have the transcripts. Oh, this is interesting. This is leading back to Make It Make Sense's page. Oh, let me see who else is in here. Because I thought this was an independent website, and obviously he's affiliated with it. So are they just randomly picking? Let's see where. If Capricorn Clark has a video where you can see her testimony, no. But for Mia's testimony, we have a video. Huh, that's wild. Let's see. How about Beyonce? Where is he affiliated or a video? That's interesting. Think about that, guys. Instead of having a no, goddamn. Okay, so I don't know if Make It Make Sense owns this website or what, but his videos of these testimonies are, and the reading of the testimony are videos that are available on this site. That is interesting. Okay, so we want to go into the civil case, right? And let's see if we have the one that's for $666,000. Let's see, Douglas Wigdor, Tyrone. Let's see if I can even like basket versus comb. Let's see. How would I find it? It's probably not an SDNY. It was a. See, this guy is the one that sued him right before he got busted. I mean, where Sean ignored the actual case. So he didn't go, and next thing you know, he got picked up. Let's see if I can find the one that has to do with the $666,000. Lisa Boom. Da, da, da. If I can't find it efficiently, I'll skip. See, Cardello Smith came up again. So he's been trying to get his attention. Doe versus Combs. We don't know who Doe is. There were a lot of Does versus Combs. So a lot of people are suing him, you know. Wow, that Cardello keeps being in there. So I don't know which one is the $666,000 one. Look, all these are represented by Busby. That's some deep stuff, y'all. I'm just saying that is some very deep stuff. Well, all right. Thanks for checking out my channel, and especially thanks for my intermission wherein my computer crashed because it is running Windows 8. And you all just have a great Sunday. Not only in happy Pride to everybody that's prideful. Happy Juneteenth. We'll have that coming up. Did you hear about the other plantation in DC that incinerated and also had the same circumstances where the flames were put out and then they reignited? So, hey, Diddy, keep on fucking up. Because you part of what the ancestors is going to come after, too, in my humble opinion. I thank y'all for checking me out because I don't think wrongdoers, I hope that wrongdoers will no longer be tolerated. I hope we're in that day. I hope we are. If the ancestors got some butt kicking to do, or Annabelle or whoever else, baby, I'm out the way. Have at it. Because we have dealt with injustice for too long and it's affecting uh, too much of society. You're just destroying people. You're not even letting people live anymore. Once again, rest in peace to Rihanna's father, and everyone have a great day. Thank you for checking me out. Peace. I think I get to end it the right way now.